Hello and welcome to my presentation on self-driving cars. Today I'll explain to you a little bit about the technology, how it works, some benefits and drawbacks, as well as my personal opinion. Self-driving cars use sensors, lasers, GPS, and programming to become partially or fully automatic. While there's no such thing as a fully automatic car at this time, it's possible in the near future, because companies such as Google and Tesla have already released vehicles, and many others such as GM, Mercedes, and Hyundai are working on their own prototypes. I believe that we need self-driving cars because they will be able to cut down on the accidents caused by distracted or impaired drivers every single year. About 30,000 Americans die from these accidents, and also because of the increasing use of cell phones and in-car entertainment systems, people are getting more and more distracted in their cars. With self-driving technology, the car is doing most of the work for you, and it has very advanced systems that will let it react in accidents and situations, and therefore we will be able to cut down on these deaths substantially. As with any new life-changing or revolutionary technology, there will always be fears and benefits versus drawbacks. Some of the benefits that I think self-driving cars will bring us will be a better traffic flow because of more efficient cars, and potential gas savings because the cars will be able to take the best possible route to be the most eco-friendly. Also, passengers will be able to be more productive with their time. So if you're sitting in a long commute, just sitting in traffic and not having much to do, you can now use this time to knock out a paper or read a magazine, play on your computer, or anything. Also, older citizens can potentially voice activate these cars and thus drive longer. As of now, older citizens have to stop driving completely after a certain age because of different health issues. Also, because the systems will be so advanced, the roads will become more efficient and traffic will be reduced because the cars will know how to handle themselves in different situations. Even with all these benefits, there are many drawbacks, the main one being hacking. If the car is connected to the internet, it is left vulnerable to hackers. Hackers can not only change the route with which the car is planning to go on, but they can cause the car to cause a collision and thus end lives. Also, sensors and processors within the car can fail, just like any car system now can have any part fail. These will all be things that manufacturers will have to look at before they introduce these cars onto the road. Cybersecurity will need to be greatly enhanced. Many experts are very excited about this technology. Leading accounting firm KPMG, which has done a lot of research on self-driving cars, believes that the market will not only accept these vehicles, but it would also pull the entire industry forward. Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who is a pioneer in the electric car space, believes that they will become as common as elevators, and that eventually human-driven cars will become banned because of safety issues. He believes that self-driving cars will become so safe and cut down on accidents by such a substantial amount that humans will no longer be trusted to be as safe as the self-driving cars. In a video by telegraph.co.uk, Alex Robbins drives Audi's self-driving car, and while he is anxious at first, he eventually realizes that it's kind of like cruise control, and after a few minutes, he's enjoying his time in the car, has adjusted to it, and believes it becomes kind of like second nature to drive. While he sits down and enjoys his time in the car does most of the work for him by switching lanes and braking on the highway. According to a survey by Michigan's Transportation Research Institute of 505 Americans, nearly 7% of them were concerned with even riding in a self-driving car. There are a lot of varying opinions about this technology, and it's very acceptable for consumers to have fears at this time because this is a life-threatening situation if there's potential problems with these cars. So manufacturers will have to do a great job at appeasing consumer fears and making sure that these vehicles are as safe as possible. There are many questions regarding the ethics and legality of these vehicles. For instance, what would the car do if it was about to crash into two people? Would it kill the driver in order to save the other two lives? How about police officers? What are they going to be able to do to stop these vehicles from causing accidents in the case of a hack? Also, how will states collect revenue if these cars became so perfect at driving and there was no reason for tickets anymore? And what precautions are manufacturers taking now? For instance, Google's come out with a new technology that might allow its self-driving cars to interact with pedestrians. Will this be enough to appease consumer fears? There will be many questions regarding the ethics, legality, and regulatory issues surrounding these vehicles. As I said before, there are over 30,000 deaths from car accidents each year in the US. Almost 30% of the 30,000 deaths are drivers aged 16 to 20. These crashes cost Americans almost $300 billion annually, and most of them are caused by human error. If human error can be reduced by self-driving cars, then we stand a great chance of cutting down on these accidents substantially. This is one of the greatest reasons to introduce self-driving cars. Granted, the technology is perfected to the largest extent possible. It's ultimately going to be up to consumers to decide how successful self-driving cars will be. If they happen to offer more value and convenience to the average person's life, it may outweigh the potential concerns about them. For instance, an adult or parent may feel more comfortable giving a self-driving car to their teenager because it might be safer for them. Also, the younger generation, which may not be able to drive yet but is an avid user of technology, will be a critical audience for these manufacturers to appeal to. As they already love technology, they might be able to adapt to these cars very well. Also, the older generation might be a great target audience to look into as well, because their mobility will be increased for years to come with this technology. In the next few decades, it's very possible that self-driving car technology will be fully developed and near perfected and also available at reasonable prices. Price may be a huge deal to consumers because, as with any new technology, when it first comes out, it is likely to be very expensive. In the next couple of years, though, costs can be substantially reduced and the cars can be available to anyone. Advertisements will have to encourage the people to buy the cars by citing advantages such as higher safety. Safety will likely be the #1 concern for consumers. As they become more common, the ones that are on the fence about buying them will begin to follow the trend when they see their other friends and neighbors and family having so much advantages from the self-driving cars. Also, cybersecurity technology will have to become greatly enhanced, as I said before. Citizens in densely populated areas such as Southern California or Hawaii, etc., will be very pleased with the more productive commutes that they have because of this technology. Overall, I believe once the technology is perfected and introduced and integrated into our society, it will bring us more benefits than drawbacks. It is my opinion that we should embrace this new technology for the sake of the potential lives we can save. If we can cut down the lives lost by accidents by only half, 15,000 lives, then we can call this technology a success. Manufacturers, lawmakers, and enforcers will need to adapt and control the effects. There will certainly be many changes, but as I said before, the benefits are likely to outweigh the drawbacks as long as the technology is perfected to the best extent of the manufacturer and that consumers' fears are addressed and that trust is established and maintained for years to come. I personally would be a buyer of self-driving cars because I commute over 1 hour and 30 minutes every day. If I could somehow make this time more productive than it is now, instead of sitting in traffic and just waiting, then I feel like there would be a lot of value added to my life. And I believe that this is probably the case for many, many other Americans and people worldwide. So if there was a way for manufacturers to establish safe self-driving cars, I would personally be a first buyer of them. Thank you for viewing my presentation on self-driving cars. As you know, this is a very current topic, but I believe it is very important to cover as it has the potential to affect millions of people worldwide. I believe that these people should be as informed about this life-changing technology as possible, so I hope that you learned something about it and that you will use this information to make a better judgment about self-driving cars.